And we're the Gorgeous Geeks. And before we talk about Smallville, I just want to say that a couple months ago, we did a video of who we thought would be the best to play Superman, and our #1 pick was Henry Cavill, and we were right, because that's who they picked, so they chose
Okay, so
right.
anyway, back to what we're really here to talk about. Okay, I guess because they said they were going to air it last week and decided not to. There was some kind of malfunction because our DVR is set to automatically record Smallville, and we missed it. It did not pick it up, and then I looked it up, and a lot of people said their DVR did not record it. So, you guys did something wrong! So, I looked on YouTube because this girl, Super Jim, always posts all the Chloe stuff within hours, so I figured I could watch some of it. And there's a scene with Clark flies, and I'm like, no way! So I watched Clark fly, and I saw a comment like, oh, I love this, Lois made him fly, too bad it's just virtual. And I'm like, what? So someone posted it online, and I ended up watching it late last night anyway, and I gotta say, I didn't like it.
Well, it was... The thing about... Okay, I'm not going to say I hated it. To me, it's been like on the same, you know, as... It wasn't any worse or any better than what they've been showing. To me, it's just...
That's because some of their episodes have been bad. Most of them have been and only 1 or 2 of them have been good.
I'm just disappointed because it's still nowhere near as good as it was for the past 2 seasons.
Okay, so the one thing that I can say that I liked about this episode was when Lois was on the phone searching for Clark and she threatened that lady on the phone. That was funny. She said, "Stop giving me the runaround and I will come and find you." Like, that was funny.
Yeah, it was.
That was funny, but I gotta say, okay, it's no secret that Chloe gets on my nerves now, and so I did not like that the episode was Chloe-centric. But I got to also say, when you do an episode that copies off of something, usually it's called a parody. This was called a ripoff and copyright infringement. Not that, you know, I mean,
I've seen people do parodies and, you know, and do things. Well, I was thinking it was a little bit of both Inception and Matrix as well. Because of the whole... But mostly Matrix kind of type thing. But
even in the Matrix, they said Alice in Wonderland references.
They
and
did.
They used that on Smallville. The only people I heard people say the only thing that they didn't say was there is no spoon. That's the only.
There wasn't a spoon.
There wasn't. So there really was no spoon.
So it was. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to rate that episode.
Okay, but the concept behind the episode. Okay, it made sense. A little bit of it, anyway. How the science behind trying to block them mentally, like something a telepath would probably do, but they did it with machines. But they did it to Clark, I understand. Black Canary, I understand. Oliver, to limit his skills. Why don't you chop off his arms or something? Like,
it was odd.
Like, are you gonna block his brain and make him half retarded or something? What was that supposed to do? And they also had Lois in there too. I understand Chloe keeping her in there because she knew that Clark would trust Lois. That I understand, but I don't understand why she was plugged up in the first place. I know they took her, but she doesn't have powers. What are they gonna do? Take away her ability to type? She already can't spell. So,
because at first I was thinking,
that was dumb.
Well, at first I was thinking, well, maybe they have her in there because to make it seem more real. But then they could have just made a program of her. So I'm not sure. It was just for the episode. Okay, but let's think about the main key points of the reasons why they had this episode, because they wanted to bring Chloe back
and they wanted to make her look cool.
They wanted to make Chloe look cool and give her a reason for her to explain herself. And I think they also wanted the Clark to get over his kind of like self-doubt because Lois believes in him. And if anybody thought that was...
Oh! At the end, he's like, "You made me fly. Maybe I could do it in the real world." I'm like, what you plan on doing the rest of the day? You gonna attend some corn? Why don't you go outside and practice?
Well, you can bring the girl out of Pontiac, but you can't take the Pontiac out the girl.
It was just like, why? Like, maybe I'll do it someday.
That was was such a tease. It was a tease.
It
It wasn't really a tease. It was like a
was
tease.
a slap you in your face.
Yeah, it was. It was a tease, then a slap. Like I think it was like, and then they kept mentioning like, yeah, fine, yeah. Well, I couldn't help but think about that one comic book issue when in Emperor Joker, where all it took was Lois to believe in Superman, and he would have done what he was supposed to do. But anyways, that was. I just laughed because I was like, oh come on, come on, people. Someday, one day. I'll try.
Someday.
Maybe I'll try it.
Somewhere over that rainbow.
I'll put it in my calendar. I'll actually try to fly. Yeah. But at this moment, I want to look at the sunset from my barn window. So,
yeah.
I thought that was interesting. You know what would have been interesting? If Chloe would have became the bad guy.
Yeah, that's what. And I heard Erica Durance. She said, when Chloe comes back, she said Chloe was going to be like a nemesis to Lois. And so I guess she meant when they hacked her avatar in that specific scene. So
I think the writers, and I know all the Chloe lovers are going to hate me for saying this, but I think the writers really missed an opportunity of making Chloe the bad guy, because that would have really, I think that would have made it like an interesting turn on the show. If she actually did become like this, I'm going to protect you, I must tear you down, which she's kind of done before, but like on a grander scale, like Chloe is the new bad guy. I think that would have been interesting.
I don't know about that, because I still think a lot of people would have said Chloe has too much power, too much sway, and things like that.
She already does.
She already does. I'm saying we'd still make that same argument even if she was a bad guy. I
just think she plays a better bad guy than she does.
She's been shady for a long time, and at the end when Clark is like, they're having this discussion about trust and stuff, I'm like, you know what, I don't know if it's appropriate for little soft children to watch Smallville, because the theme of the show is it's okay to lie to people.
Some people say, well, I'd lie to protect my family. I'm not a liar, and I can't think of one situation where I was tempted to lie for any of you guys.
I understand Clark's he has this huge secret and stuff, and it's important that he keeps his identity and stuff, but it's through all the course of Smallville, through all the shady things, it's always been a theme. I have to do this shady stuff and lying stuff to protect you. And in that conversation that Chloe and Clark had at the end, like, I lied to you so many times. How did you trust me or something? And she's, I don't know. I just did it anyway.
I'm like, did these people forget, like, the first couple of seasons? Because Chloe was obsessed.
She was
with trying to find out the truth. She wasn't cool or calm about it.
When she could make anybody tell her the truth, she was rushing over to Kent's house to make them tell her about Clark. She, one episode, at the end, she suggested that Clark get professional help. The point is, that was an untrue statement, and they might forget, but we don't forget.
It was just, they've always had problems with that. Like when he said, you've always trusted me. Maybe there might have been a time or two, but overall, those two never really trusted each other. The only people that Clark ever willingly really told his secret was Lois and Lana.
Once Chloe finally found out, which he did not tell her the secret, it was, well, at least that's not how she found out. I don't know I don't remember exactly when they had the conversation of, I have superpowers. But, that girl he was dating who showed Chloe that he had powers. And then after that, you could really see that Chloe could be his backbone. But before, it was, I don't like secrets, I'm annoyed.
I just don't, the whole Superhero Registration Act thing, I was always...
And she acts like she always had trust in him. Last season, they were really at odds with each other.
It's almost as if they're trying to rip off Marvel's Civil War. I mean, that's what it is. And it's just so weird to me, because this is kind of out of character for... I know he hasn't stepped into the role of Superman. But Superman, what he would do is he'd go straight to the president and say, I'm going to work with you. I'll do whatever, we're going to work with the American government because, we're here to protect the country, but I'm just not going to tell you my secret identity. I know he kind of wanted to step up and Oliver took his place, but Superman would have went straight to the White House.
and
this would have been over in a day.
And here's another thing that really bugs me, and it's kind of been bugging me, but I haven't let it come to light. But now it seems like Smallville's just getting kind of too darn political, in my opinion. And it kind of really came to light when they on the show Black Canary was like a conservative talk show host. You know, that was more of the Civil War stuck to the ethics of the bill itself. And the only time I saw something that was really political is, I think, Luke Cage said something one time, and Wolverine retorted something back, and Cable went to President Bush one time. But the main arc of Civil War was not political. Smallville, I feel like they are attacking conservatives, and Black Canary was a conservative talk show host, and they were just picking at her in this episode.
Well, I don't think not as much as you're complaining about, but you have to have somebody on the opposing side.
It's been consistent since the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because Godfrey was a conservative talk show host. You might as well have casted. I mean, he had that freaky. Apparently, he had that freaky fetish thing about showgirls and stuff like that. So yeah, I can understand the darkness, or whatever coming in that way. But and then Kat is conservative in Smallville, and she's wacky, clueless chick. It just keeps popping up.
I don't like it when my sci-fi shows goes towards politics, like that, as if they're trying to touch on real life and stuff like that, because it's a fantasy world. I wanted to stay in the fantasy of the comic books type of thing, and so I really don't think it's as bad as you're saying it is, but it's still there. It's still there, but I just really think
jab, and I can feel it.
I just really think that DC saw what Marvel did with the Civil War, and they try to copy it.
Civil War did not do that, though.
But still, there's just a copy. They're not trying to do exactly like it.
I'm saying they should keep.
They never admit it, though. Why would they admit that they're trying to copy off their rival company?
I'm saying it is a clear jab at it, and I didn't really say anything before or try to let it irk me, but there's a crisis with Chloe, and Lois has to take a second out to say no, and I'm like, there's things going on. I gotta yell at her.
They had to have somebody that was feeding into them that Chloe could be the bad guys type, which is logical. There had been somebody in there to say there is a possibility, type of scenario. So. I don't know. It's just the whole episode was like it had a chance to be really cool, and it didn't really make it. There were some points in there where it was, but I think, after watching this episode, I would have preferred Chloe to be a bad guy than what she is. And okay, as far as her and Oliver getting back together, if they're going to be together and he'll never hook up with Black Canary, fine. I'm okay with that if they're together. But I swear, if they break up again and Oliver goes into this pansy-mansy, pathetic stage again, and we're not going to see the Green Arrow again for the rest of the season, I'm going to be very upset. So if you're going to stay together, stay together. I can't take Oliver Queen being in a stupid slump.
Yeah, I
can't take it.
I don't understand what was the point of making him go through such a long depression if she's going to come back like that. And he said his 2 cents about, I was upset that you left. Well, I couldn't see her because I was sad that I left. And it's like, okay. Kiss.
And I know some people might say, well, I think you guys are overreacting. Oliver, Green Arrow was gone for the whole season. He was gone. He wasn't really there. He was just...
all his dialogue, everything was Chloe left. The woman who was most important in my life left. He keeps looking at a picture that she took when she's naked, covered in sheets. I'm like, who just does that? And has it in their room, just I'm like, who does that?
I don't know.
Porn stars?
Well, I've seen a couple celebrities do that, but I don't know. But the point is that I don't want to see Oliver digress. I don't want to see that again because he's just...
It was pointless that they did it so much, because they did a lot. you cannot tell me that they didn't do it a lot, because they did, with him sad and moping and stuff. I didn't even like. I know Chloe was like Morpheus or whatever. I didn't even personally like her fighting Black Canary, because I know it's kind of like there's an episode and Lana has superpowers and something's off in her brain and she decides and she slaps Lois through a wall, and you're like, you stupid tramp, why did you do that? And Kanna's like, yeah, like I'm just so like, oh, I'd be like, yeah. I'm like, the mythos! It was really cool when she fought those guys and she's doing all the spins and kicks and whatnot. I mean, that was cool later, but there is no spoon.
I don't really care about. I just think if you're gonna do something, go all the way.
Oh yeah, and another thing about this Matrix ripoff, I just don't think that Smallville. Apparently, they do not have the budget to pull it off properly. Because when she morphed through that wall, I'm like, ew.
Is it like a computer game type thing?
Yeah, and some of the effects just did not look convincing. Which Icarus did not look convincing with the whole scene with Carter and stuff either. Like, I don't know. I think they're biting off more than they can chew, and they're not biting off the right things. All these spoilers I hear about Chloe and wedding plans and so on. I'm like, what about Darkseid? What about the story?
I never wanted them to touch Darkseid. I never wanted them to touch Darkseid.
I never did either.
It was too big, and they're proving it that it's too big. We didn't hear not one thing about Darkseid. I'm glad this Registration Act thing is out the way. Well, not really. I don't know. It's just if it's a law that the government has pushed down or trying to push through and has to go through Congress and everything, I don't understand how, you know, a threat from Chloe and a defeat of a small army can, you know, stop a bill or whatever.
Yeah, off the grid people.
Off the grid. That's why I don't want them touching politics, because it's just stop. Just do Smallville. Just do Smallville. They shouldn't even have went this route. They should have just stayed with Darkseid, because Darkseid is too big of a story. Doomsday, with Davis Bloom, I thought that story was so interesting. I'm like, Smallville's getting really good.
Yeah, that season 8 was great, except for, well, I'll say the Lana arc, and that finale was, that's what the thing that made it fall apart. But I think season 8 was pretty good, and then I really liked 9.
Oh, 9 was phenomenal. I'm like, they got Zod, and I was kind of worried about them touching Zod, actually, but my goodness, it was so
or
great.
Zod again, rather.
It was Zod, but the clone of Zod. But it was so good. I loved it completely. And I'm like, okay, well, 8 was great, and 9 was better, so 10 just must be. And it just digressed.
Like when I watched the whole thing, because I had already seen like the Clovis bits. I didn't even want to rewatch the Clovis bits. I was just so kind of frustrated with the whole thing. I just did not like it. It was so funny because when it didn't tape, my mom was like, we're like, oh, it didn't tape. What happened? And mom was like, psh, well, you know he didn't fly. And so when I saw he flew, I'm like, no way. And then it says virtual. Why do you yank my chain?
And then the T's at the end. The flying.
Someday.
One day.
Someday. No, he won't do it tomorrow. That's why I have to sing someday. Someday.
Yeah, sure. Well, anyways, tell us what you think. I don't even really know what to say about this episode, to be honest.
We said a lot. What are you talking about?
I know, but I just can't. I don't know where to place it. It's like it happened, and I don't know. I'm gonna pretend I never saw it. Actually, I'm gonna wipe it from my memory.
Yeah, but next thing, like, when did Chloe come back? What? Like, I'll just accept this.
I don't know.
Because it didn't make sense before.
No, but there's something I have to mention.
Okay.
You know what? I wish that I could go inside the show, go back in time, and tell Jimmy, forget her. Forget her.
Yes.
Forget her. She ain't never gonna love you. She ain't never gonna love you. Like she
gonna marry you. She gonna hump you a few times, and then she gonna get a new person.
She never loved you. Maybe she did, But the way she's talked to Clark, the way she helped Davis, and the way she's talking to Oliver right now, it's like
she's a fickle little tramp.
Where's Jimmy?
Okay,
I never wanted. Poor Jimmy, poor Jimmy, poor Jimmy. Iceman.
How can you be a Chloe fan after what she did to Jimmy? It's not even like I love Jimmy. Like, well, he was funny.
Jimmy is just not there. And Jimmy and Oliver were really close friends, and they don't even mention the man.
I wish his ghost would come back and haunt everybody, but they'd be like, there's this thing following around. I don't even. He looks familiar.
And he was so right.
This ghost looks familiar, but I can't quite place him.
Is it Iceman from X-Men? No, it's Jimmy.
No, isn't that guy from like the first season who stole Clark's powers? Because it's not him. I don't know who this person is who's haunting me, telling them that I used to love him. I don't know who this ghost is.
I just feel so bad because Jimmy was so right. He's just like, you never. And
then someone will be like, "That's Jimmy," and then she'll point to a little kid and be like, "That's Jimmy. What are you talking about?"
With the camera.
That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. Who are you talking about?
Oh, Henry. Henry was his name. I don't know. I'm really curious to know what everybody else thinks about this episode. I don't know. Tell me, please. Anyways, I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina.